Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video we're going to talk getting started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar Warcry, and today we're going to take a look at the Idoneth Deepkin. In this video we're going to go through talk about how the Idoneth Deepkin act on the tabletop in Warcry, and then we'll look at some units we can use to start our Warcry warband with. We'll then take a look at some other units to expand upon after those initial purchases are made, and then finish off the video with a little sample warband of 1000 Renown for you to use as some inspiration for creating your own Underworld's warband for the Idoneth Deepkin. So with all of that said, what do we get for the Idoneth Deepkin? And before we go into that though, I'd just like to say you can get all these rules free to download on warhammercommunity.com. You can go to the downloads section of the website, and underneath the Warcry header you will find all the rules for a ton of different Warcry warbands. So, the Idoneth Deepkin, they're generally pretty fast moving. Even their infantry have, base 5 and 6 for infantry, which is really nice. You've got access to quite a few models that have the fly rune mark. Now, this is both good and bad, remembering in the new edition of Warcry that models with the fly rune mark cannot carry treasure. This doesn't stop them from controlling objectives, though. Idoneth Deepkin are good offensively. You've got a load of different ways to bolster your damage output, whether it be adding extra attacks or strength and various things. And you've also got the ability to do plenty of different splash damage through a variety of different abilities from a bunch of different models. Your reaction is really cool as well, as if you've got two friendly fighters in a fight, if one of your models is in there, then you can choose to not have that model be able to be targeted with the reaction, which I think is really cool. This just allows you to sort of stop one of your models being targeted and get the hits on the model you want. Really good if you've got a much more defensive model in there, or a model that's much more important, that's maybe carrying treasure, etc., that you can use to defend with. But with all that said, let's look at how we can get started. And so, to get started with, I really like the Monty Thrallmaster. Now, first of all, we've got a pretty solid profile. Only toughness 3, this is generally a problem with Idoneth in general, you do have quite low toughness. 18 wounds, 4 attacks at strength 4, 2-5 on the damage, and a 2-inch reach is really nice there as well. But also, it's got a triple ability called Way of the Depths, where until the end of the battle round, you add one to the strength characteristic of melee actions made by this fighter and visible friendly fighters with the Idoneth Deepkin rune mark and the agile or minion rune mark whilst they're within 6 inch of the Thrallmaster. Now, speaking of models that can have one of these rune marks, first of all, we have the Monty Thralls. These have the minion rune mark, which is really cool, and you've got your base sort of stat line, 2-inch reach, which is really nice, 3 attacks at strength 4, 1-4 on the damage, toughness 3, 8 wounds, pretty standard sort of elf stuff there. A little bit more offensively good though, which is really nice. You've also got a double for your minion rune marks called Sweeping Blow, where you roll a dice for each visible enemy fighter within 2 inch of this fighter. And on the roll of a 5, you can allocate a damage point to the fighter being rolled for, or on a 6, you allocate a number of damage points equal to the value of your ability. Pretty cool for a double, I think, for the Monty Thralls. They're not really the toughest things, but, once again, this is just showing the splash damage ability from your Thralls. Also, being able to potentially get a Way of the Depths off at the start puts you at that nice strength of 5 with your Monty Thralls. Some really decently high strength there. And where to next after this? Well, I think the next one to look at is the Monty Reavers. They are the models with the Agile rune mark, so the Thrallmaster can give them +1 strength in combat. This would put them at 3 attacks at strength 4, 1-3 on the damage. But the reason you're probably going to take the Monty Thralls is for their ranged output. 2 shots at strength 3, 1-3 on the damage, and a 3 to 15 inch range is really nice. You've also got the Storm Fire double ability, where until the end of this fighter's activation you can add one to the attacks characteristic of their missile weapons. So some pretty nice shooting support power there. It's not really going to win you any games, but it's definitely some nice sort of ability to provide some damage across the board. Now, the next thing I want to look at is the Morsa and Ishlayan Guard, the Achillean Guard, our eel riders for the Idoneth. Now, remembering both of these models have the fly rune mark, so they will not be able to carry treasure. That doesn't stop them, however, from controlling objectives, as mentioned. Now, they've both got 20 wounds and a toughness of 4. Where we really go in is, first of all, your Morsa Guard have 3 attacks at strength 4, 2-4 on the damage, and your Ishlayan Guard have 4 attacks at strength 3, 2-4 on the damage. They both have their own abilities as well. First of all, we've got a triple for the Ishlayan Guard called Biovoltic Barrier, where until the end of the battle round you count each critical hit as a regular hit. Pretty good for controlling objectives. And you've got a quad on the Mithras Guard called Biovolactic Blast. We allocate a number of damage points equal to the value of this ability to all enemy fighters within 3 inches. So if your opponent's sort of all nice and tightly packed together and you get like a quad 5 or 6 in there, this can be a really powerful ability. And lastly, we have the Ishlayan Soul Render. I think he's a nice utility piece for the Force. He's got toughness 3 and 22 wounds. He's not too shabby in a fight with a bunch of strength 4 attacks at some various ranges, which are really nice. And then on top of that, we have the double for Hangman's Knot. You pick a visible enemy fighter within 3 inches of this fighter and roll the dice on a 3+ until the end of the battle round. This fighter cannot make move actions or disengage actions. Really cool if you're using some abilities to tie in with this. I think this combines really nice with your reaction fade from memory. And, you know, the Soul Render is a pretty decent fighter. It can stop your opponent being able to get, you know, fighters out of fights they don't want to be in. I think he's a really nice utility piece to bring into your Idoneth Deepkin. And so here we have our sample warband. Now we've got the Akkalian Thrallmaster as the champion. You could put the Soul Render. I think it's just personal preference here. The Soul Render, you're probably going to have more in combat than the Thrallmaster. The Thrallmaster is probably going to be hanging behind the Thralls and Reavers that we have. So that's why I've gone him as the champion. He might be a little bit harder to disengage. But we've also got an Akkalian Mithras Guard Lockian Prince. This is the champion option for the Mithras Guard. You do get a little bit extra on top of your regular Mithras Guard here with an extra attack and your damage going up to that 2-5. So you're going to have 4 attacks at strength 4, 2-5 on the damage, which is really nice, and that 2-inch reach. So you've got a few cool abilities to be able to do here. Now, we've then got for fighters 3 Namati Thralls. These are going to hang around the Thrallmaster, and 2 Reavers are going to be some nice sort of maneuverable pieces around the Force. The Mithras Guard Lockian Prince in there, I think, is a nice, just fast-moving piece, able to sort of add a really good burst of speed with the Fly Rune mark on there as well. The Namati Thralls, the Namati Reavers are really important for the Force, so we can enable us to get objectives, control treasure, and all of that. We're probably going to try and get, you know, the Soul Render, I think, on the treasure more than anything else. He's going to be able to sort of dominate areas with his double ability there, the Hangman's Knot, if he can get on treasure or objectives. If you've been playing with the Idoneth Deepkin in Warcry, let us know how you've been going and what you would do down in the comments below. That's the end of the video, everyone. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, drop us a comment down below in the comments section and let us know what you enjoyed about the video and what you'd like to see more of on the channel. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here we have at Sinful Gaming, you can do so on our Discord server, which is linked in the video's description. Also linked in the video's description is our Patreon and YouTube members, where you can go to help support the channel and allow us to keep doing what we're doing. As a special thank you to our Patreons and YouTube members, we'd like to give them all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons: Christian Weir, Soren, Greenskins Gaming, Kenny Lauer, Outer Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Derek, and Giappy390. And to our YouTube members: Greenroots Gaming, Kenton Young, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, and Monty's Tabletop Terrain. And lastly, a special thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork you see on the channel. Thank you all for watching. Once again, stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now, everyone.